How's it going, everybody? This is Brian for Pop Culture Crossing, and today we are talking about 2015's Steve Jobs. This movie is an adaptation of Walter Isaacson's book of the same name, and the film is an interestingly structured biopic. Although it is depressing, it does provide viewers with a distilled snapshot of both Steve Jobs' visionary and egotistical traits. It features strong acting and technicality, which are elements that should be appreciated by audiences. The story takes place moments before the Apple Macintosh, Next Computer, and iMac product unveilings, and depicts Jobs and his associates at very distinct times in their lives. However, the film does not simply center on Jobs' technical ideas, but a large portion of the movie focuses on heated conversations revolving around Jobs' relationship with his family and coworkers. As such, the movie often portrays Jobs in a negative light, but viewers can sense small tinges of growth as the story develops. And I should add here that I am in no way commenting on whether or not this is an accurate portrayal of Jobs. That debate falls outside of the scope of this review. But when I'm talking about Jobs here, all of it is pertaining to how he was portrayed in the movie. In terms of pace, Steve Jobs is composed as a triptych showing 3 distinct times in his life. Before seeing the film, I was actually really concerned about this structure, and I was nervous that showing few moments before these product unveilings and conferences, which were held years apart, by the way, I thought that would be injurious to the pace and really create a lack of cohesion, but it was a relief when my concerns did not become reality, and some expository elements are also used in the film to provide deeper context for the viewers. The effects of the tense conversations among the interconnected characters do carry over to an extent from conference to conference, and this offers a sense of continuity and shows character growth, or for some characters, or i.e. character, Steve Jobs, the lack thereof. Plainly, Steve Jobs is depicted as a very conceited person. Although it may be slower than some would like, there are hints of Jobs' maturation as a human outside of the technological realm. But like I said, that's probably going to be slower than you would like. The other characters, conversely, experience more evident growth, and that's great to see as well. Similarly, the tone is depressing. The manner in which Jobs humiliates his co-workers and wantonly displays his hot-headed temper really paints a critical picture of the man. Further, the denial and narcissism regarding his family is pretty shocking. More often than not, the excitement surrounding the product unveilings and the conferences are overshadowed by his hubristic, pugnacious qualities. As mentioned earlier, there are a few glimmers of hope, but those are really fleeting in the larger picture. The performances are quite notable, on the other hand. Michael Fassbender's depiction of the eponymous, complicated character is impressive. He does a great job absorbing and projecting Jobs' character and showing him to be a very awkward, difficult human. And the way in which he delivers the barbs of dialogue are well done and, albeit illustrative of a despotic tyrant. Kate Winslet's Johanna Hoffman is great, yet there were a few instances in the first act that it seemed like her accent was not noticeable, and then for large portions of the movie she did have an accent, so there was a bit of incongruity there, it seemed, but that's pretty minor. The way in which Winslet delivers her dialogue alongside Fassbender, especially during the conversations in which Hoffman is standing up to Jobs, is really noteworthy. Seth Rogen, Jeff Daniels, Michael Stolberg, and Perla Haney-Jardine, Steve Wozniak, John Scully, Andy Hertzfeld, and Lisa Brennan, respectively, provide sound supporting roles and performances. The exchanges these characters have with Jobs serves as explicit cases for Jobs' obnoxious behavior, and they attempt to urge Jobs to change his behavior, mindset, and the way he treats others, but they often have undesired results. And I actually admired these 4 characters the most of any in the film. In general, Steve Jobs has strong cinematography. The use of close-ups effortlessly convey the characters' emotions, and in one of the more memorable sequences, which was an exposition scene, a Dutch tilt shot is masterfully blended with warm lighting and shadows, and it really brilliantly captured the serious, tense environment of that particular scene. However, some creative shots, particularly over-the-shoulder styled shots that were aimed a little bit lower at the torso level, were overused. The production design and music were impressive. The sets and music look and sound wonderful and often reflect the technological focus of the impending conferences. And the set design mixes well with the cinematography and the electronic and orchestral music, so there's a little bit for everyone, served as excellent additions to the film. Danny Boyle does a great job in his direction of Steve Jobs. The way in which he is able to convincingly convey a disparate yet connected triptych is something for which he should be feted. The strong performances and technicalities are other positive features of the film. Michael Fassbender and Kate Winslet were nominated for the Oscars for actor in a leading role and actress in a supporting role, respectively. Overall, the movie's highlights are in its formidable presentation and production value. In the end, Steve Jobs is a deeply paradoxical film. The story and its main character are obnoxious, while its cinematic technicality is impressive. Despite a few glimpses of growth, Jobs' difficult character traits and horrible treatment of others are what defines the film. If you're interested in learning more about Steve Jobs, especially in a unique filmic structure, or if you enjoy artistic technicality, you may like Steve Jobs. I personally will probably rewatch or reference several scenes or sequences going forward, but I do not see myself watching this movie more than once. I will, however, be revisiting its strong soundtrack. So that's my review of Steve Jobs. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below and across our social media. As always, our full detailed written review is available at popculturecrossing.com. And in the meantime, why don't you let me know if this was your first foray into Steve Jobs and Apple and that type of thing? And if so, what were your thoughts of the movie? Did you think Jobs was portrayed too negatively, or obviously, if this was your first introduction to him, what were your thoughts there? If you are a big Steve Jobs or Apple fan, I'm definitely curious to hear what you thought about the portrayal in this movie. And be sure to let me know your thoughts, and we'll keep the conversation alive. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.